Hello, I'm IBXToyCat, and something you might not know about the channel is that we actually have our own subreddit. It's r/IBXToyCat, and a lot of people post a lot of things there, some of them good, some of them bad, and some of them are things like this seed, which looks so fake that they had to clarify, I swear this is not fake, WTF, because as you can see, it's a woodland mansion combined with a village, combined with a pillager outpost, combined with a desert temple, all on screen at the same time, and a lot of people do believe this is fake, a lot of people don't think this can be true, but that's something I wanted to test in today's video. So I'm loading up the PlayStation 4 edition, which it looks like he's playing, and I'm going to be checking out this exact seed to find out what's going on. So this is the seed right here. As you can see, it's very messy and very long. PlayStation 4 seeds and Java seeds can be like that, but it's hopefully going to be worth it when it gives us the perfect world, right? I am actually super curious as to if this is a thing, because we don't even have coordinates, we just have a vague picture of it. So yeah, let's work it out. Is there going to be this amazing thing on a seed, and why and how is that even possible? These are the things we're going to be working out in today's video. So you can like this video if you do like it when YouTubers tell you to like things, but let's dive straight into it, shall we? So hello, my IBXToyCat, and welcome back to Seed Sunday. This is the weekly series where I show you seeds for Minecraft that are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And this week's seed is one that starts with a very interesting premise. I was actually curious as to where we'd have to go and look to find these amazing things, but you can actually see right from the spawn, it's there. It's literally right in front of us already, what's happening right here, and that's pretty nutty if you ask me. And don't get me wrong, we're gonna have to come back and we're gonna have to address what exactly is going on here, because it's so confusing on so many levels. It even comes out on the other side of the Woodland Mansion, just to show you how big villages are, as of, you know, the village and pillage update. But let's head back to the spawn. Let's open up our map so you can actually see our coordinates. Fun fact, on PlayStation 4, your coordinates are always shown on your map. So if you have it in your left hand, you can see coordinates for anything at any time. Isn't that wonderful? Cool little quirk from the console edition, which still hasn't made its way to either Bedrock or to Java, and which I think is wildly useful. But yeah, since this series is all about the seed as a whole, and not just one thing on it, although we will definitely focus on that, don't worry, I just want to quickly mention this seed already starts great because it is giving you a choice of biomes. There's a forest over there, there's a desert over here, and there's a plains biome over here, all of which are pretty good starter biomes, right? But then also there's this cave over here. You saw me go through it a little bit, but the great thing is there's actually a lot of access methods for this cave. There's over here as well, there's over here as well, all of which are going to give you easy access to iron, easy access to coal, things which are pretty good by themselves, but also easy access to a ravine, and apparently a skeleton too. But you get access to a direct ravine here, which is nice because it's even more of those ores, even more access to other things, but it gets even weirder because the ravine goes below a desert, which is part of the whole desert temple from the stronghold thing. Because it goes below a desert, you can see how right here, one, there's water next to lava in a way that probably shouldn't exist, and two, if you follow this thing down, you can start to find a bunch of flowers underground, like this one right here. You want an oxeye daisy? Well, guess what? You can totally find one underground on this seed, and then if you follow things even further downwards, you can find your way right down to lapis or diamond lair, and you can even find weird things like stop being broken by the time I got here. My life is a tragedy. A tragedy that I record for the internet. Okay, so you get a really nice cave system at spawn. That's something great, that's something everyone likes, right? And then also near spawn, you get yourself this thing. So this has got to be one of the very first things you do. It's actually very convenient in the sense that it's right next to you, you know, spawn-wise, like, oh, you just walk over there, and then the doorway's right over here. Interestingly enough, you'll see how on PlayStation 4, these structures actually look different than on other platforms, because the stone stair bug replacing cobblestone stairs, because they're just called stairs in the game, has not been fixed here yet. It doesn't seem, at least, which I find is interesting. I find it actually adds to the structure. But yeah, you can see how this, you know, woodland mansion right here is worth going right into, because you're going to find a bunch of weird things, like these lampposts. You're going to find villagers in here, which, by the way, you need to protect from the illagers, because they will spawn in here. You're also going to find parts of houses in between the walls, like, oh, it's a free bed. Oh, it's a two-story house, is that? Wait, is that meant to be a two-story house? Yeah, well, there's a two-story house right here. Oh, it actually is. It's the back half of one, missing the staircase. So yeah, there's a two-story house kind of blended in right there. There's dirt all over this place, making things like this. For real, there's a tree, and then on top of the tree, there's a house. You could call it a tree house if you wanted to. This villager definitely doesn't know what he thinks of it. But yeah, you could turn, if you wanted to, this entire woodland mansion into a giant village, and I think that's wonderful beyond belief. I think this is something that really almost shouldn't exist, and that's what makes it great that it does. Okay, this is the weirdest house yet. It spawned a floating island of dirt, put some grass on that floating island, then put half a house on there, which admittedly includes the blast furnace, but Still, you can see how this is very strange and sometimes transcends the floor. Even in the second floor of it, you're going to find parts of houses, and just the whole Woodland Mansion is very, very strange. If you want to do something with Woodland Mansion, this is an ideal one to confuse people with. So yeah, it's a Woodland Mansion, but it has a village attached. There's also enough of a village outside the Woodland Mansion that it's kind of usable by itself. There's also a giant hole which comes in from that, which is just, it's confusing to even talk about or mention, but it does exist. But yeah, shockingly enough, this also goes into a desert temple. So yeah, 3 structures all next to each other. It's pretty cool, right? And for a lot of people, they might type in the seed and they might go, you know what, even though the pillager outpost isn't here, it's not too big of a shame. But here's the thing about PlayStation 4 that makes it so interesting. Here's the reason why a seed like this can exist and be like, huh, that's not all the way there. Like, this is the worst version of the seed, but it's still shockingly rare, right? But here's the thing, it can get better if you take advantage of some PlayStation 4 exclusive features. Don't ask me why this isn't on Bedrock yet. It's such a cool idea in my opinion. But biome scale is a thing that exists on PlayStation 4, and if you want, I believe the thing they did in the screenshot is they turn this down to small. This gives you more biomes more frequently, which is great when you have obviously you know, like a world that is limited in its size, or very limited in some cases. But if you use the exact same seed, but you use the small biome scale, then boy, let me tell you what's about to happen. Because the PlayStation 4 edition of Minecraft, as you can clearly see that it says up there, is very different to the other versions of Minecraft in that it was mostly made from Java with some Bedrock added in, but it was made to be a console port to work with the limitations of a console, which back then were a lot more than they are in the modern era, especially leading into the PlayStation 5 days. Because the console version the game is made by experienced console porters, they know how to work on, you know, 4J Studios. If you don't know, they know how to make certain features that work a lot better. And yeah, so one of the things is biome scale, which really tips an entire seed upside down. Okay, so my theory was that he used small biomes because his biomes were slightly differently laid out to mine, but that doesn't seem to be true either, because I've loaded up the exact same seed, and all we find is a Woodland Mansion with a very separate jungle boat, which is on land partially for some reason, which is cool by itself. This is all stuff you can find on either end of the seed, but the fact that this same seed has like different definitions for different playstyles, because having these small biomes is great for some people. Look at the size of this plains biome, look at the size of this desert, look at the size of the savannah. They're all very tiny things, right? Which is wonderful for some, but let's now try on large just to see if that's the fixer, or maybe it's just a random thing with the pillager outpost. I don't know for sure right now, but we'll try. So yeah, the person who gave the seed didn't clarify which of these settings were used, so we're going to take another guess and say maybe it's large scale biomes, although it looks very much the opposite. So something we might do instead is try classic and small. This means the world will be much smaller and much more densely compact. You can obviously expand it later, so it's fine. And then we'll use small biome scale as well, and we'll see if this is the magic cure, or maybe classic medium. You know, we'll try that instead. Let's go. So yeah, now we've got the exact same seed, even with the same biome scale, and it's going to be different because that's how these things are. So now you can see this is even weirder. We've gotten the exact same Woodland Mansion in the same place, slightly different, there's no hole here, but this time there is a pillager outpost with 4 separate buildings, but there's no village next to it, which is extra confusing. I mean, again, they're meant to be more densely compact. Also, there's a second one just over here, and there still is a desert temple, but it's off over there. You know, this is weird and confusing if you play another version of Minecraft, but the fact that everything can rearrange a little bit, the fact that your world can change based on what you want from a world, because in this case you get a limited sized world that you have more of an impact on. Eventually, if you run in any direction, you're going to hit the world border, although you'll find a desert temple first apparently. And yeah, isn't it wonderful that you can find all of this stuff in a much smaller space if you want a smaller space to work with for a world? Because infinite sounds great for Minecraft, but it isn't necessary, you know, like, more of something isn't always better, right? I mean, I could release a 16-hour video of me taking a nap. That wouldn't be better than this one, even though there would be more of it, because, you know, quantity and quality, they're very different. Wow, well, look at this. We're going into a huge debate about the very nature of reality itself. So instead, I'll just say, lol, isn't this seed good? Don't you want to check it out? I know you do. Okay, my final try here is just to try the exact same thing we started with, large world, medium biome scale, and we're going to see if it generates slightly differently, because this is something Minecraft does on every platform very slightly, but this might involve something as huge as a pillager outpost, so let's do it. Okay, so same seed as before. Hello, my BX Toycat. Welcome back to Seed Sunday. Now you know it's not fake, because it's literally loading in as we talk. Here's the Woodland Mansion, here's the village, here's the desert temple, and as you can see, the pillager outpost is missing. So in a way, this whole thing was fake. In a way, this whole investigation was necessary. And you might question, how exactly is that? Some of that probably is biome scale. Maybe there is a combination that he did use. Some of it is the fact that seeds change. And some of it is the fact that PlayStation 4 is just a very wacky addition. Obviously, you know, like, we haven't dove into it so much, but it's totally worth mentioning that this seed doesn't just have one very wacky thing. If we go to the north, like we saw on the other version of this seed, you're going to notice how found, you know, kind of inside an island over here. Well, actually, you find this too, but you're going to notice out to the very north here, you're going to find yourself said shipwreck from before. You're going to find yourself an ocean monument down here in the waters. Look, it's a jungle boat. It's a slightly different jungle boat, but it's in the same place, and it's not too far away from a desert village, and desert village is not that far away from another desert temple, and the seed is just full of these things because the PlayStation 4 edition, you know, values having a dense, useful world filled with interesting different things in a way that Minecraft as a whole just kind of doesn't. The number of structures Minecraft adds to the game is usually like one a year or something. I think we need way more structures. I think this ideal of the game where there's a lot of everything all the time, where every Minecraft world is different, not just because the biomes are slightly different and sometimes there are different caves, which are also true and interesting, by the way. But I think the thing that makes Minecraft interesting is seeing these structures, these things that exist in the world before you, that you can choose to tear down, you can choose to leave them there. Oh look, what is that? It's a pillager outpost next to a, or near a desert temple. Isn't that wonderful? Not even the fifth nicest thing on this seed, because there's so much going on that makes PlayStation 4 edition seeds interesting, and it's something, you know, knowing the PlayStation 4 is coming into the Bedrock world, knowing the PlayStation thing is eventually going to go away, it's something I think Minecraft Bedrock and even Minecraft Java 2 could definitely learn from. I think, you know, when it comes to the decisions made by the Jebs and the, you know, the other game designers of the world, I think they should be considering what makes a world feel, you know, like something you want to explore. And oh, there's another house on this side of the village too, oh, not the mansion too, by the way. What a weird thing. But you've got to make a world that feels like it should be lived in, and to a lot of people, a world that's already lived in is one that's great because you can change it to your requirements. You can turn off structures if you want to, but have you noticed how no one ever does? No one ever says, oh, the worst thing about Minecraft is too many structures, because that's not an opinion anyone ever has. Some of the structures they've added have been real questionable. Like, I mean, who really enjoys the witch's hut? Let's be real with ourselves. It's not the world's greatest structure. But yeah, some of these, you know, things have not been great, but they still have uses to some people somewhere. Every Minecraft structure so far has some value to someone, and that's something we should continue with. That's something I'd love to see Minecraft kind of improve on, and that's a big part in this video too. Like, here's a Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition seed, but a lot of you don't have Minecraft PS4, and that's why this should be a thing that isn't just limited to one console, you know, in one place, one where, and that's something I would like to see Minecraft take on board, and like to see them improve even for the PlayStation 4, but also for every other platform. You know, I have a dream where one day you can load up Minecraft and you won't know all the structures and they won't all feel samey and repetitive because there'll be so many different ones that you might forget about some. That is the dream I have, and if you support my dream, then, I don't know, support my video with a like and a favorite and a subscribe. No, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, because if you didn't, then this was a bad use of your time. And, you know, if you're using your time badly, then, you know, it's a normal thing. We all go there sometimes. But have you considered watching other IBX Toycat videos? If you're spending your time badly anyway, might as well spend a lot of it badly. And, you know, also give me some of that sweet, sweet ad revenue that you know I'm after, because I'm a YouTuber, right? So, yeah, make sure you do that, or don't, or have a nice day regardless, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, my skin has to be different on PlayStation 4 because they don't have the normal Ocelot skin, and you have to use their preset skins. So I'm an Ocelot in a suit, okay? I grew up. I became a businessman. What do you want to do about it? Anyway, goodbye.